I was scared of EJ Manuel. I thought he was good.
Sure.
I really felt like he was doing stuff. I thought he was accurate. He was, for somebody who had an injury, he was mobile. I was scared of him.
Rookie of the year, we should look at those odds because it's either Geno Smith or EJ Manuel, right?
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Well, after watching every play of that Pats game, I would think EJ Manuel is, if he stays healthy, he's going to win. He's good.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Buffalo. When was the last time they had a quarterback?
Yeah. Well, that's
Flutie?
No, Bills fans and Raiders fans. Like, look, at least these guys are excited.
Right now, we have more losses than we have wins. The fucking changes that have happened in the Cub organization are multifold. All right, they don't show because we're 5-14. And unfortunately, that's the criteria of them dumb 15 motherfucking percent that come out to date baseball.
Who the fuck is this guy? Hey, who the fuck are you? Huh? Who the fuck are you? Hey, I like it.
All right, go walk your dog.
Welcome back, WNY Background Podcast. You got Steve, the host. Got Coast on the line.
What's up, Jan Man?
We need everyone to subscribe and download all of our podcasts millions of times if you can. We're on YouTube and on iTunes. We're everywhere. Spotify. We're not getting paid for any of that shit either. Hello?
Are you there?
Yeah, are you talking?
I was.
I didn't hear you say anything.
Rough start. I think we need to edit this.
No, I had a whole spiel there.
This is the operation. It's all good. What'd you say? I think we cut out or something.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Dolphins, man, that team is brutal.
Yeah, they're terrible. I mean, they're totally in shambles, like we said. It was just about as pathetic of a performance as I expected from them.
Pretty sure I fell asleep in the second quarter. Nothing happened.
I couldn't tell if that was that a real. So we got a picture in our group chat of your host sleeping with the game with his eyes closed.
I was resting my eyes. Yeah, I mean the game was so boring. Nothing was happening.
Couldn't confirm if he was actually sleeping or not. But this would be the 2 out of the last 5 home games that you attended that you fell asleep at.
I didn't fall asleep at the Ravens game. I mean, I wanted to, but that was at halftime. I think I was resting my eyes. No, there's just nothing happening in these games most of the time. There's so many timeouts. The weather has been horrible this year. I think this is the worst weather year I've ever had since 2005.
So was it windy, rainy, both? It was definitely windy.
Yeah, it just seems like it wants to rain every single week. Maybe it sprinkles. It doesn't rain a lot, except the 1 week. I think the last game was, it was soaking wet, but it's never sunny anymore. We always have terrible, bad weather.
Yeah, I do feel like we've had bad weather games. I think the Steelers game might have been nice, and the Titans game. But other than those 2 games, it's been some combination of rain and wind.
Well, the forecast for the Steelers game changed, but it was all right.
Yeah, it could have been worse. It wasn't that wet, but still, it's can we just? There hasn't been a super nice, those fall home games when it's sunny and 58 degrees are awesome. From what I remember,
Yeah, the 90s when we went. Why did we score a touchdown with a minute left? I don't get that.
Why did we?
Yeah.
Probably to try and cover the spread. I don't know.
Seemed fishy.
It was 3rd and goal, and we just called a bootleg, which is people were complaining on the post game. Why are we putting him in danger and having him run and stuff? And it was a pretty low risk play. The game was over, but it's not he wasn't he basically went in untouched. I guess he did kind of get touched maybe, but
yeah, I don't really care. Just something that people were talking about.
I don't know. Game got a little chippy there too, so I think he felt good to punch that one in.
Oh, it's a division rival. We've beaten the shit out of them for 4 years in a row now.
7-1. Al would be 8-0. Charles Clay can catch.
Yeah, Flores is going to get fired. They're going to have to rebuild again. That team they're like the Jets, but no one talks about the Dolphins because they're down in South Florida.
Well, the Dolphins 2 years ago were like, oh, they're rebuilding. They got all these draft picks. They're doing it the right way, and it's just imploded for them.
Well, the Dolphins, for some reason, people in the NFL, like the media, want them to always be good, but they never actually are, or something.
No, they might have surpassed us as being like the worst team. Oh, are we? Have we had a better millennium so far than the Jets and Dolphins?
Jets have been to 2 AFC Championship games.
All right, so they won.
Although they've been in the doldrums for a decade now.
We've been to the playoffs 3 times. Miami, have they made the playoffs more than like once or twice? Maybe like in like
They made it like 3
2002.
times. They made it like 2 years ago, or 4 years ago now, I guess.
Did they really? With Tannehill, they made the playoffs.
No, they had a backup quarterback play.
Oh, they had more ended up playing.
Yeah, more.
Okay, well, anyways, yeah, they're both of those teams. But then the Jets, they have 2 good wins.
Yeah, I mean they. Oh, this year you're saying?
I said the Jets, they've they have 2 good wins this season.
Yeah, I don't get that. What is? I mean, are we gonna underestimate them? I mean, that Mike White comes out and torches the Bengals. I mean, obviously that was a letdown game. I mean, I guess it happens in the NFL, but still. Well, and also they won by that fluke. Did you see the penalty they called to keep the Jets allow them to keep the ball?
Yeah, but they still would have had to score. It's not like the game they
Well, they needed a field goal at time, but
yeah, it definitely was. But still, to even be in that position after kind of crushing the Ravens. But that's the thing. I don't even think the Ravens are that good. It's
a lot of it's matchups. I think it's just matchups. Like, I mean, look at the Chargers. They get complete. I mean, the score was close. Well, the Patriots, they lose to the Patriots, but the Patriots, of course, got a defensive touchdown like they seemingly always do. But
yeah, I know. But it was 17-6. New England's gonna play. Every one of their games is gonna be like that. Low scoring. Pretty much every one of their games. Low scoring, like in the high teens, low 20s, and just like if they get lucky, they'll win.
they need their defense to make a play or two, and they need their running backs to go off.
Yeah, well, then they're gonna slow down the games. That's how they're gonna play. Our games are gonna be so frustrating to watch because they're gonna slow it down. They're gonna just play good, solid defense and try and keep it in 20-17 type score because then you just got to get lucky.
Well, that Monday night game that's going to be a huge game. I wasn't really looking forward to it too much, but now I'm glad I got off like the whole week. Got to prepare.
You can make the argument that New England's the second best team in the conference. I hate to say that, but I was thinking about it recently, but the problem is they lost to Miami, and they almost lost to Houston. But like, how much different are they than all the other teams like Baltimore, Cincy, the Raiders, Chargers? Like those are the teams we're competing with right now.
Yeah, I mean, Bill Simmons was on Cowherd today saying this exact same thing, that he thinks the Patriots are like in the driver's seat to win the conference. They don't.
Win
Well,
the conference?
yeah, he said Patriots 20-1. I'm putting money on it right now to win the AFC.
You can make the case that they're as good as those other teams, I think. But I truly believe that, especially with Henry out, because I think Henry derails Tennessee's entire season. Obviously, I mean, he probably should have been like I know Allen's the favorite for MVP, but Henry could have been in that conversation because they rely on him like totally. And
he had the most touches like ever through 7 games or some shit.
Yeah, and everything they do on offense, passing game, everything is all relies around him. But the door is wide open for us. I think we are easily the best team in the conference. Like, not even really close. I think we're the most complete team. I think we have the best quarterback in the conference, the best offense, the best. I just think, man, this is the year. That's why
I wanted him to do something at the trade deadline. I don't understand why we didn't even seemingly try to do anything other than to unload Mitch Trubisky. If you believe Chris Trapasso, who the fuck that is.
Well, how many trades? There was one meaningful trade made in the entire league. The NFL is just like hard to make trades. I don't know. I don't know why. The contracts are too complicated. Teams like either overvalue or the Rams undervalue draft picks or their own guys. Or like I don't. It's so complicated to make a trade. It seems like nothing ever happens in this league, except like the Rams.
Yeah, I don't really get that. How one team or maybe a handful of teams will just give away draft picks or trade them away, and other teams treat them like they're gold. And then, I mean, our last 3 second-round picks have all been benched this year. Like to give up a second-round pick for someone like Von Miller, maybe he won't have an impact this year, but I would bet that he will have an impact in the game, a big impact.
Yeah, I wouldn't have hated giving up a second-rounder for him. It's just, or I mean, they gave up a second and a third.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's a steep price for a rental, but
yeah, exactly. It's like a half. But we have the quarter. But the reason why we can be more aggressive with things like that because when you have the quarterback and he's young, you're going to be competitive. Look, I want this team to be like competitive for like the next 10 years because there's nothing like having a meaningful game every single week. Like we went so long with like at this point we'd be having a podcast November 3rd. Talking about how the season's over, like every year.
Well, we're gonna have a month here without a meaningful game. This fucking schedule.
Well, I guess it's different. You can get to the back end of the season and just have like everything locked up. But now when you're battling for the 1 seed,
yeah,
I don't want the Bills to be totally mortgaging the future unless there's someone that is like this guy makes the difference for us to like win the Super Bowl. And would Von Miller be that guy? I don't know.
Why would the Giants trade Ingram? I don't get, like, I mean, maybe they're going to keep him another year? I don't know. I mean, again, it's the Giants. It's tough to explain anything.
That's what I mean. It's like, what, these like, overvaluing your own guys or not, like, what kind of draft pick? Did they draft him high in the first round? I forget.
He was a first or second round. I think he was a second round pick, but, well,
so,
I mean,
does the GM, or I don't know if it's the same GM or whatever, but, like, you draft a guy in the first round, then, like, you're admitting an L when you trade him for like a fourth or whatever. Like it's, these guys have so. I don't know. It's just I don't blame the Bills for not making the trade just because it's not like trades were there to be made. It's obviously.
Well, there weren't trades made, and yeah, I mean we're not going to know, but back to the Patriots. You could say they might be the second best team in the AFC, but what do they do on offense that's good? Like these other teams. The other teams in the AFC at least have something on offense. Like, the Patriots have a couple of good or decent running backs. Like,
yeah, I shouldn't say that I think they are the second best team, but I think you can make the case. You can argue New England along with those other teams that are like, you can have a debate, like, oh, who's better, Baltimore or New England? Like, who would win that game?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of it is just a toss-up. These teams, like Cleveland, what happened to them? They fall apart. The Steelers beat them. I mean, yeah, Baker's hurt, I guess, but
I think the Patriots stink, but I think they know that they stink and know
they're just super well coached.
They know how to play with a bad team, like what they have to do to have a chance to win.
Yeah, he wakes up and gets 6 wins. Belichick, he'll wake up with 6 wins every season just because he knows all the little tricks and little shit that a lot of teams like the Chargers coach. That guy's a bum. What he knows how to go for it on fourth and one, or the Bengals coach. Those guys don't know what they're doing.
He knows how to go for it on 4th and 1. Yet why even put yourself in that position all the time? Like, just I don't know. I don't want to be a team that's good at going for it on 4th down. I'd rather just be a team that just doesn't have 4th downs. Or like a team that's good on 3rd down. They're really good on 3rd downs. How can we just not have 3rd downs? Which could be a segue into
3rd worst team on second and long. Your favorite stat?
Well, finally there was a stat out there on Twitter about it that we have the 3rd lowest pass rate on 2nd and long, and that all season. I don't know. Like, there's no explanation for it.
Do you know who the other two
Your team is like setting up to fail. Like, I don't understand what we're doing.
Do you know who the other two teams are that are worse on second and long running the ball than us?
No, I lost you there. Sorry.
Do you know what the first and second teams are worst in running on second and long?
Yeah, I looked this up. Chicago and the Giants. I can't forget now.
Jacksonville. So Lawrence and Fields.
Jacksonville.
Lawrence and
Yeah,
Fields.
exactly. Two rookie quarterbacks where it would make sense. You'd be way more. Well, it doesn't make sense, but I can see it more so than us. Because we still pass as much as like any team. It's not like we're not throwing all the time. We're not being aggressive. I just think the timing of our runs, multiple times this season, I felt like Dayball was just like totally just like throwing darts at a dartboard to pick a play. Like it's just I didn't understand it. I don't understand I don't think Daboll's any sort of genius at all. Like the only thing he maybe deserves credit for is knowing that like we should pass more with Allen. But I think Allen makes Daboll look good, not the opposite.
It seems more likely that Allen makes him look better, but I don't know. I mean, the offense. I think that the two combined, along with Diggs last year, is just like a perfect storm. And I mean, we still have. Do we have the best point differential in the league, or like our offense is still basically great? So
yeah, we're first in the league in points per game for and allowed, I think.
Yeah.
Or at least we were last week, or at least like top. We got to be first in the league in points allowed. So I thought we were in points for, but we definitely have the best point differential in the league. And the offense is still scoring a ton of points, so it's hard to like put a ton of fault. But like you look at the Miami game, the first half was like terrible, right? They were flat. It was a joke. I think you said we should cut Allen and clean house, but which you did say. But the first drive of the game, we had a 2nd and 9. We handed it off to Singletary for 4. Ended up punting. Second drive of the game, we had a 2nd and 11. Handed it off to Singletary for 6. We got that first down. Later in the drive, we had a 2nd and 10. Handed it off to Moss for 1. We ended up kicking a field goal. Those play calls are what is like dooming us.
Well, yeah. I mean, and then there's some people that are like, oh well, we're not showing our best offense right now. But why? What every other team in the league is like, we don't have anything clinched. If we're really holding back plays for the fucking playoffs right now, that would be the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
You can hold back plays, but still call like a basic pass play in 2nd and 10. Like, I mean, like, what are you holding back? I don't know. I don't buy that crap at all. Maybe you're holding like trick plays or certain formations or something, but I don't think calling a pass play in 2nd and 10 or a run play in 2nd and 10 instead of a pass play all the time is like trying to like trick anybody. It's just dumb. It makes no sense. We do it in the red zone all the time. That's why our red zone offense has struggled this season because we're constantly putting ourselves in third downs. And third downs in the red zone are hard to convert.
Yeah. And well, when we talk about going for it on 4th down, we're 13th in the league and 13th worst going for it on 4th down. So we're not even that aggressive. I don't know.
As far as like when you should go for it, like just like the standard stat, or like just how many times we go for it.
Yeah, it's win probability lost per game by kicking in go situations.
Probability lost. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't been. I mean, just based on like watching the games, I don't feel like I've been upset much at. And I think I'm probably more in like the conservative camp than you are, even. But I haven't really been upset with our decisions to kick field goals or punts this season. I don't. Especially when in like, I think there is something to say that when you're playing a bad team, your defense is dominating them. You can make the argument that like there's no reason to go for it on 4th and 5 from midfield because there's like a super good chance you're just going to get the ball right back. Like you don't need to try and give the other team points when they're that bad. Like the risk reward is a little bit different depending on who you're playing and the situation. Like it's not, if we're playing Tampa and we have 4th and 4 at the 45 of Tampa, then I'd be like expecting them to go for it because it's just different. When you're playing Houston or Miami, you can punt it. The chance that they're driving anywhere to score on you is, is slim. When they have to go that far on the field, you're going to get the ball back again in good field position and have a first down. So
that's a fair point. But I mean, you can't be playing each of these games with different mentalities. Part of the problem. I mean, it seems like we choke up against really good teams. We beat the Chiefs pretty handily, but that Titans game, we seemed pretty nervous the whole game.
We seemed nervous?
Yeah, like that. I just didn't have any. They didn't seem confident that they were going to win the game.
The only people that seemed, I think the defense was nervous. After the Henry run, I think our defense panicked. I don't know what happened after that Henry run, but we didn't. That's where I felt like we were nervous. I don't know. You didn't like us kicking a field goal one time against. I don't remember the situation, but I didn't have a problem with the field goal.
Well, I just said it was a useless field goal, and we're celebrating that we got 3 points. It wasn't
useless because then we scored our next touchdown. We were up 7. We didn't have a field goal. We are up 4. So I wouldn't say it's useless. I don't know, man. We just lost that game. There's something else really. Every single thing we do, and they were talking on the radio yesterday. Shockingly, I agreed with Show for the first time. But he was like, the Bills fans are so spoiled right now that we search for ways to criticize them every single game. And that's because, like I said, we barely ever lose now. We've won, we're 20-6 in our last 20, or 21-6 or whatever, the last 27 games. Every time we lose, it's we have to figure out a way. You're not going to win every single game.
Well, then they shouldn't have a post-game show. They shouldn't have a post-game show. They're going to bitch about people. We're breaking down the game. I mean, how much are we going to talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars or the Dolphins or the Jets? I mean, we're talking about what happened in the game.
Yeah, you talk about why you lost the game, but I think the issue is it's we're trying to search for overarching problems.
Well, yeah, I mean, we can't demand perfection, I guess, but
sometimes we're going to lose. We effed up a bunch against the Titans, and I can't remember now because I tried to block out my memory, but there was definitely things our red zone offense was terrible in that game. But I'm not going to be we suck in the red zone, we're doomed. But I feel like that's, sometimes where we get to.
Our biggest concern right now should be the Manning cast curse. Have you seen it?
Dude, how many games have they done? 5?
Yeah, and it's pretty brutal. Travis Kelce.
I know Tampa lost, right?
Travis Kelce, they lost the next week. Russell Wilson, they lost the next week.
Yeah.
Gronkowski lost and got hurt. Stafford, they lost. Brady, they lost.
Stafford? Oh, man. I was going to say, I don't... The Brady... Wait, they lost with Brady and Gronk? Both their losses?
Well, Gronk was on it in week 2, and they lost the next week. And Brady was on in week 7, and they lost the Saints the next week.
That's funny. Well, hopefully it's small sample size. If we lose to Jacksonville and Allen was on Manning cast, then I think it's a thing. I don't think Seattle losing and whatever other team you said, those teams aren't that good, so I'm not. But
the Rams?
Huh?
The Rams and Bucks are the 2 best teams in the league.
Yeah, the Rams and Bucks, but they're the 2 other teams.
Oh, well, Chiefs. Yeah, Chiefs and Seahawks, but...
Yeah, Chiefs and Seahawks are 500 or worse, so I'm not... I don't know, man. I did hear about that, and I tried not to think about it, because,
Because you're superstitious? What is the spread in this game, 14?
14 and a half. I thought I saw... We're going to be 2 touchdown favorites. 3... Well, we probably won't be 14-point favorites against the Jets, but we'll be double-digit favorites 3 or 4 games in a row here.
If Mike White torches it, I mean, it could be a pick'em next week.
400 yards. Oh my God, no way. We'll be probably minus 12. Who do they play? They'll probably lose this week. The Jets.
Is there even anything to talk about with the Jags? I mean, obviously they got the coach who's just like a very unique character. Lawrence, I mean, I could see Lawrence trying to do some things. I don't know if he's going to be able to accomplish them. I mean, Chenault is pretty good, but DJ Shark is out for the year, right? And
Shark's out, and I don't know, they're just terrible.
Robinson's
they
even
lost.
banged up, the running back.
Robbins, yeah, they lost. They got killed by the Seahawks last week. They got smoked by them. Geno Smith was 20 for 24 passing. Their defense allows like the highest passing rate, like 113 or something, to opposing quarterbacks. I think I saw this season. Their the defense is just terrible. Lawrence, he's a rookie. I'm looking forward to watching him. At least it'll be a little bit more interesting than watching Tua. But they don't have much going on for them. Like you said, Sharp's out. So I don't know. I was nervous last week versus Miami. I just can't see this game being competitive.
Nervous last week. Well, Jets played tomorrow. They played Thursday against the Colts, so they have more time to prepare for us. I don't know. I mean,
brutal. White extra.
Salah. Who knows?
Salah an extra 3 days.
Yeah. But if the Jets win this game, win against the Colts, they have three. I mean, the Colts will be they'd be 3-6 if they lose that game and Jets win. But the Jets will be 3-5.
I put the Colts right in there with all those other teams we talked about. I think, I don't know. I just think there's like
they have
8 teams that are like the same.
Yeah, I mean the Colts. I feel like they've already played the Titans twice, and I mean they've had some injuries. T.Y. Hilton's been out most of the year, and I mean Wentz is Wentz. I don't know. I mean
if he just didn't make the I know that's just what he does though. He'll play they'll be good. They'll play good, and then he'll just have that pick 6 he threw last game against the Titans was like one of the worst plays I've ever seen.
But it ended up being beneficial. But it was just. I mean, it looked like he threw it like Knox threw the ball to Allen. Like
he's getting sacked in the end zone, and he shot putted it with his left hand.
Does he
into the middle of a crowd of people?
What is he thinking? Does he think that he's just playing pickup basketball or something? Does the guy realize he's signed with $100 million contract? I mean, could he at least try? It's so strange.
Yeah, and he did the same thing again in the previous game. So, but I still think they're pretty good. I mean, we played them in the playoffs, and I don't know. I think they're pretty good. So that would be a good win for the Jets. And then if the Jets they'd have 3 wins, at least 2. They already have 2 wins better than we have.
Yeah, well, they've gotten smoked by the Patriots twice. So
maybe 1 win better. I don't know. Maybe 1. Yeah, by 40.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But, Jacksonville, I can't remember the last time.
Are you flying into Orlando or Jacksonville for this game?
Am I?
Yeah.
Probably just drive.
Better leave soon.
16 hours?
If you go straight. I mean...
So 2 days.
Who's Alabama play this week? Maybe you could watch them play.
Stop at Bama on the way. Yeah, Bama and Jacksonville are pretty, probably not that far apart.
Or Georgia.
Catch up with there's an early CBS game and then the prime time and then head to Jacksonville. That'd be a weekend.
Yeah, second time you've done it this year too. That'll be fun again.
So have we played the Jags since the playoff game?
I was trying to think about that. I don't think we have, but I don't feel like looking it up right now because this podcast has to end soon because I don't feel like talking about the Jags anymore. But yeah, I mean that game still haunts me. I don't know. I mean Jalen Ramsey, he's been long gone since then, but he still got an interception at the end.
It was incomplete.
Which it seemed like it was incomplete. Yeah.
It's definitely incomplete. They didn't even review it. I don't know. whatever.
I never understand the NFL with reviews and stuff. I never understand it.
So, it's shocking that we almost beat them, and then they like basically should have gone to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they should have been in the Super Bowl, and their only score against us was a fullback.
Fourth down play.
Fourth down, yeah.
And our team was atrocious. We had it was a miracle that we made. I mean, unbelievable coaching job, just absolutely phenomenal.
Who was our special teams coach that you love so much?
Our special teams coach?
I assume that's who you're talking about. I don't know.
Sean McDermott, man. Best coach in franchise history.
Well, Frank Bullock or Randy Bullock, I don't even know. I don't want to talk about 80s football again. What's the score again?
I think we're going to beat them 52-13.
I could see Lawrence doing some things in this game. I don't think we're going to cover. I'll say 30
Doing some things? What things do you see him doing? He
I-
threw 52 passes last week. He scored 7 points.
Well, maybe I'm wrong. I mean, it'll be the first time, but I don't know. They must have a couple of dudes.
They got their leading receiver last week was the tight end they traded for, Dan Arnold, whatever his name is.
Yeah, it is a weird name like that.
This team is like totally. If we don't win by 30, I mean, if we don't win by 20, that will be surprising to me. So sorry, I interrupted you. 30 to you don't see us covering.
30 to 20. I think they could put up 20.
Yeah, I can see it. And that's possible, like a garbage time TD.
Oh, they got Marvin Jones. Agnew could do something on special teams. That guy always does.
I forgot about Jones.
Tavon Austin.
He's actually pretty good. What other backs they got besides? Isn't it someone terrible like Carlos Hyde?
Yeah, they got Hyde and two guys with last names I can't pronounce. Ugudabudawale and Ozabigo. I don't know.
Who's good on their D? Do they have any good defensive guys? They got Allen, right? Is he good?
Josh Allen. I mean, he was a top 10 pick, and they got Miles Jack.
Yeah. I'll never forget Miles Jack running down the sideline with the ball at Foxborough, just going into the touchdown and inexplicably blown dead.
Yeah, I mean that's just the way it goes. But that's why I'm scared of the Patriots. I think I said that last week, and people were like laughing at it. I don't know.
I just have a weird feeling with them. Like I just think that they're gonna play these low, and I think Pittsburgh's the same way. In like sidebar, like we make fun. People on Twitter and the radio, they make fun of like Tomlin and Carroll and Belichick and like a lot of these guys and all like the punting and fourth down decisions and shit. These coaches know how to win games. They're like the most successful organization in the NFL, and like they're gonna know. They know their team. Like, do you think like
yeah, they're just looking up made-up stats that they dream up with these stupid fucking charts that you can't even read.
Well, I mean, do you think that like Pete Carroll or Mike Tomlin or Belichick, if they had like great offenses, they'd be doing the same things? Like Tomlin knows his offense sucks, so why is he gonna go for it all the time? Because they're probably not gonna get it. But he knows he has a good defense. Like they know how to play to give their teams chances to win games.
Well,
so they're
getting paid $9 million a year to do it. Some dickhead on Twitter making a chart about some players, shit like the bar graphs that no one can possibly read. I stare at them for 10 minutes and I still have no clue what I'm looking at. I got Photoshop too. Fucking paint.
These teams like New England, Pittsburgh has an easy game this week. They're about to be 5-3 probably. I forget who they play, but I think they're like 7-point favorites.
Yeah, they already beat the Browns. No one's scared of the Bengals. I mean, and the Ravens. That division's fascinating. The AFC North.
Those are tough games. I'd rather play Cincy than Pittsburgh or New England or.
Well, of course. The Bengals. Everyone wanted to fire the Bengals coach, and then Burrow throws for 400 yards against a couple of teams, and he beats the Ravens because their quarterback can throw half the time. I don't know. All right.
You're not getting if you're playing
Zach Taylor.
If Tomlin or Belichick are coming to the round 2, you're in for a battle.
I'm more concerned about James Taylor coming to the Ralph, dying. Zach Taylor coming to the Ralph.
Zach Taylor, there's potential of like a 30-point win.
Okay, it's gotta hope.
Right.
All about
We'll
my
talk.
bills like Buffalo.
That's about it from Manager's Corner. Go fuck yourself, and the fuck with your show coming up next.
We're going to the playoffs and you're going to take out one of our best players because you couldn't take a hit? That's a joke. That's an absolute joke is what it is.
Shit, I'm all about the bills like Thurman Thomas.